Hey guys, sorry for my long hiatus, but life's been busy the past couple months. Boys in school, homeschooling, just haven't had the time I've wanted to be able to make videos and whatnot. I'm still able to go out, but it's the process of making the videos and editing, etc. That I just haven't had the time to do. However, as most of you know, the world over, Hurricane Helene hit down south in the United States, coming into the bend of Florida and then sweeping up into Appalachia and decimating for hundreds of miles. I've had numerous people ask me on social media to maybe do a hurricane after action report. So that's what this video is. I'm going to just go over some lessons learned from this natural disaster debacle. So before we get into that, the sponsors and affiliates of today's video and the channel are Brownells, Krushinki, Good Camo, and others. All their links and affiliate codes are available in my link tree at Bushplaid on Instagram with all their discount codes and whatnot. So thank you to all of them for sponsoring and help keeping the channel going and the page going. And the gear that I have going through this ordeal, a lot of it I have gotten from them. So thank you to them. We really appreciate it. So let's get into the video. All right, so first lesson, biggest one. It may, to some people, it'll be like, oh, well, duh. But to others, be like, well, it seems more pertinent now. Cash is king. Cash still obviously still holds its value, but in this technologically, what's the word? Reliant. This technologically reliant society we have. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, let me just Venmo you. Let me just PayPal you. Direct deposit paychecks. I know there are places that still give paper paychecks. I know people still use cash. I'm talking about the vast majority of people in today's modern society. Not Appalachia, but in modern society. Cash is king. We lost, hurricane came through Thursday night into Friday morning. And power went out Friday around 1. Not power. Cell phone reception and internet went out around Friday at 1. Meaning nowhere could nowhere had a connection to do card transactions, which means everywhere was going cash only, which at the beginning was great because you could get some cash back. We had no cash on hand. So like Walmart had its own, I'm assuming they had something like Starlink, but had its own internet, so they still could do transactions with cards, and they had a ton of money in their safe. So they were able to do up to $100 cash back, which was great because I was able to get that. I used that for other places that were cash only. But having cash on hand, our older neighbors who really did help us out a lot. The husband has a ham radio set, so I was able to hook up with him with the bow fangs that I have. Kind of do what I'm doing today. I got permission from the other landowners around our land to kind of, it's not patrols, but just security sweeps, just checking on things, fences, just shit like that. And that's what I'm doing today. But had the bow fangs hooked up with him, did radio checks twice a day, 09 and 1900. He would give me information he got from his ham guys elsewhere. That's where we got a lot of our information, because from Friday at 1 until Monday night at 10, we had no cell phone, no internet, no way to get anything. Found out North Georgia, not too far from us, they still had it. So like our cell area was out of power. They still had it. So we were able to go to North Georgia. Our phones would hook up to the towers there. Bing, bing, bing. Get all our notifications. So from Friday until Saturday afternoon, so well over 24 hours, like our families didn't hear from us. They didn't know what was going on. They saw pictures of downtown Silva and Dillsboro flooded. Nothing got swept away where we are, but it was seriously disruptive. And they were our families were freaking out. So we were able to get a hold of them. So that's number one, cash. Number two, fuel reserves, fuel stores. I have owned gas cans everywhere we lived. Washington, I had a little 2-gallon. Maine, I had a 5-gallon. El Paso, I had a 2-gallon. All of them with gas in the fridge, but all of them with gas in the garage. Always had a fridge in the garage, but never used them. Never had to unless I was using like a lawnmower or helping someone fill their empty car. Right? Come here, Appalachia, 6 months. Don't have gas can. Don't have any gas stores, etc. And what happens? Huge outage. Fuel shortage. We ran out of fuel by the beginning of the end of Saturday. Gas pumps were, because people were doing their fucking thing. I'm going to fill my gas cans because God only knows. So I was able to get some gas cans, 3 5-gallon. So I got 15 gallons of gas we got stored now. I got to go get some Stay-Bil, the stuff that helps it from getting moisture and deteriorating over time. I got to get a thing of that to put in them. But number 2 is fuel. So number 1 is cash. Number 2 is fuel. And number 3, and I don't want to harp on it because so many people kind of like, I feel like it's not polarized. I just feel like it's overdone. Water. Not just water for purification and storage, but just knowing where you can access water. People say clean water filters. You can literally look, and there's 3-4 different types of filters in like the U.S. military, the DoD survival manual. So it's not that hard to find printings and whatnot. Printings, right? Because no internet. Hey, getting one of those manuals for your little personal library would probably be a good idea. But gravity filters and stuff like that, those are pretty basic. I have a barrel, a rain catching barrel, that we've just had, that every time it rains, fills, it overflows, and we just have it there, 55 gallons that I can use for flushing the toilets. And I can hand pump with my water purifier if I wanted to. We've got a stream down below that feeds into a bigger stream. So there's a water source, I mean, like right here, because this is the backside of my property, right down there. So my water situation, like the main, like I said, the main thing is to know where it is. That's the biggest thing. Who cares if you've got to fill up 2 Nalgene's at a time, but you know where your water is and you know you can get it, right? The one thing I want to touch on, because over the course of this last week now, I've heard they're not conflicting, but it's just it's misinformation. You need to, backpackers, through hikers, bushcraft, like primitive skill survival instructors, they all teach the same thing. Your water needs to be at a rolling boil for a minimum, everybody knows, minimum of 8 minutes, 10 minutes to be safe. All these people in their postings that say it needs to be at a rolling boil for at least a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. No, it needs to be 8 or more. That's the number I've almost 25 years of survival instruction and outdoor experience. I have never heard anybody say a rolling boil below 8 minutes. So you hear any of that, that is misinformation, and that could get you sick. Period, end of story. Don't care who it pisses off. It's misinformation. 8 minutes or more rolling boil to kill all the bacteria. Okay? 1, 2, 3. And then little side caveats. Batteries, yes, but more so having battery banks that you can plug into a wall outlet somewhere where it has power. If you went to Walmart, you went shopping at Walmart, right? You went to somewhere where you could go shopping, and you had half your family go do the shop and the other half sit at an open outlet that they found and charge something, if they're able to do that. Battery banks, portable battery banks, entertainment for children. Our sons don't use tablets ever. They don't use electronics ever, except when they're watching downloaded videos and movies on Netflix in the car, or if we go out to a restaurant. But I prepared. I downloaded 8 different movies onto the Netflix on the tablet we have, charged it, and I kept it plugged in the whole time. They didn't touch it. They didn't care about it, in case we needed that as entertainment for them. Another entertainment caveat: we still had power, but we didn't have internet or cell phone reception, so we couldn't like hotspot our Fire Sticks or anything. DVDs are still a huge entertainment source. I mean, it's endless. You go anywhere and buy dollar DVDs at thrift stores. So we have a nice little. We had a DVD player thanks to my father-in-law who got it for the boys on their birthday, with some biblical DVDs. And thanks to him, I had the DVD player stored away just for this. And I pulled it out, had that, went to the library. The library was able to analog, check things out for people, and they had DVDs that you could check out. I checked out, what was it, Bluey? Season 1 and 2. 725 minutes of fucking Bluey cartoons. I mean, the kids would get sick of Bluey before I'd get sick of Bluey. I love Bluey. Anyway, entertainment, food. I don't know what to tell you guys about food. If you know a storm's coming, don't buy fucking bread and milk. Buy fresh produce. Buy meat. But if you're gonna buy meat, I would like get a roast and cook it, because then you can have it in the fridge, and if the power goes out, you can put it in a cooler, but it's already cooked, right? You can reheat it on a barbecue or something, but it's already cooked. But fresh produce, that's the biggest thing. Apples, bananas, oranges, all those, and lettuce and salads and we bought a couple heads of cabbage, because cabbage is great, because in a pinch you can make your own freaking kimchi. You can make short-term kimchi, short-term sauerkraut. You don't have to like make it and wait weeks, right? Food, guns, have them. I'm not gonna say have that fucking obnoxious stockpile of tens of thousands of rounds, but have them. So when this all happened, at the very beginning, the day before the hurricane hit, I have an AR, an AK, and a battle rifle, but I don't have two of the same platforms and same calibers. So before this is my one panic buy, and I had been meaning to do it, but this storm made it more pertinent for me. I went and bought another AR for my wife, because my wife is a vet. She served in both the Navy and the Army. I admit she's a better rifle shot than I am. I'm better pistol and shotgun. I'm better pistol in everything. She's a better rifle shot than I am. So I went and bought another AR, so that we have two ARs, same rifle, same magazine, same ammunition. We're compatible when it comes to that now. I got plenty of gear and stuff. And in communication, like I said, my neighbor has a ham radio, but I don't fucking people talk shit about Baofangs till they're blue in the face. But for $25 fucking dollars to be able to have as long as it's charged, a reliable source of communication. We didn't have internet or cell phone coverage, so I was able to take my Baofeng that way, and made a circle miles, because I got a whip antenna on one of my Baofengs. I was able to go miles away from the house and be able to make a communication circle, so I knew where I could communicate with my wife if I needed to leave the house. She would have one, I would have one. We went to Walmart. I brought a Baofeng into Walmart with me in my front pocket. She had one, and we were radio checking each other just to see what kind of reception we had. Had them in the car the entire time, because heaven forbid something happened to the car and we don't have cell. At least we have a way to communicate for a while she'd be in the car with the boys. I'd be going and recceing how to remediate the situation. So don't fucking listen to people talk shit about Baofangs. Go buy 2 or 3 of them. Buy enough to equip your family, and then focus on getting the more expensive, cool guy comm stuff. But who gives a fuck about encrypted stuff and people being able to triangulate your position when this is more applicable? As home security and fucking community security during a disaster or a major event like this is more applicable than your fucking doomsday scenario. You guys gooning with your nods and your fucking, $500 comms that are encrypted, etc. Shut the fuck up. Go buy some Baofangs, practice with them. Practice comm etiquette. Find your communication circle around where you live. Because I got my, he's at the top of the mountain. He was talking to people in fucking like Finland on Saturday after the storm. He got to hear what they were hearing over in Europe about the storm. Like, grow up. Like, it's not all about the most expensive stuff and the cool guy shit. It's about the stuff that's applicable to your life at that moment. And having something like that as an emergency backup communication device. Sarah, there's one thing Sarah said out of all of this was like, well, I'm glad we had those. Not all of this bullshit, but my bow fangs. That's my takeaway. That's my after action report. Build your community. Talk to your fucking neighbors. Don't be some fucking, cretin who just plays video games and comments on social media and doesn't have like a fucking social life. Like, go talk to your neighbors. I don't care how socially awkward you are. Grow up. Because that's the only way you build a successful community that can help you in a time like this. That's my takeaway. Sorry if that sounded a little harsh. That's the reality of it.